cylinder, which, if you don't know, a cylinder is a solid object with two identical flat ends that are circular and one curved side. So, right, like this curved side all the way around. Um, and the volume for a cylinder, I had a typo yesterday, by the way. The typo was right here. I said the area for a rectangular, and I put A, but it should be volume and V for volume. But here I have it right. The volume for a cylinder is V equals pi r squared h, where r is the radius and h is the height. And again, if you don't know this, you might want to just write this down right here. This little formula for a cylinder, you might just want to write cylinder V equals pi r squared h. Remember, pi is just a number, 3.1415 some change. And r is the radius, or halfway through the middle of the circle. Remember, a diameter would be all the way across, or double that, and the radius is half of the diameter. And then h is just the height, so from base to base in a straight line is your height. And yeah, we call each circle a base, so the delta math problems will call them a base. And we've seen part of this before, right? We've kind of seen this pi r squared. That's the area for a circle. And so for the volume, it kind of makes sense that we get the area of a circle just times how many, circles you can fit in there, or the height, right? So it kind of makes a little bit of sense there. So let's move on to the first example. The first example says, what is the volume in cubic feet of a cylinder with a height of 12 feet and a base radius of 9 feet, round to the nearest tenths place? So if you wanted to sketch, I'll do my best with the little pad I have. There's a cylinder. There we go. And it says its radius is 9 feet, so we have a radius here of 9 and a height of 12. And so the volume is pi r squared h, where pi is just a number, times, right, this is all times r, radius is 9, squared times h is 12. Right, and you can't mix these two up, otherwise it'll be wrong. And this is just something we could throw into our calculator. You guys should actually also have this TI-84 app, if it's helpful, because I learned the hard way with someone else that 3.14 isn't always good enough for delta math. So we want to be as accurate as we can with pi. And this calculator has a little pi button. If you hit this second button, and then right here where this caret is the pi button right above it in blue. See that? So second, and then this caret button right above the division. So pi times the radius is 9. Here's the squared button times 12. And we get 3053.628. I don't even remember what I just said. I said 53? Yep, 53.628. And we want to the nearest tenths, which is the first decimal place, right? It goes ones, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So then we go B equals 3053.2 is next, so we round down, just leave it as a 6, and then it would be in cubic feet, which Delta Math will have labeled for you. Really all this is plugging this in to this formula. All right. Example 5, what is the volume of a cylinder in cubic feet with a height of 5 feet and a base diameter of 10 feet? So again, if I try and sketch a cylinder to the best of my ability, not necessarily to scale, uh, we have a height of 5 feet and a diameter. Now this is important. We need to pay attention, right? On the last one we had a radius, but here we have a diameter, which means all the way across of 10 feet. And so when we do our volume equals pi times radius squared times h, pi r squared h, again, pi is just a number. Our radius isn't 10, but it's half of that, right? Because a radius is only half the distance of the diameter to the circle. So 5, right? Half of 10 is 5. So times 5 squared times h, which is also 5. And I'm going to do a little trick. You could just type all that in your calculator, but I know that pi times 5 squared times 5, 5 squared means 5 times 5, and then we have another times 5. Um, that's really 5 cubed, right? Or you could just type it out. Um, Pi times 5 squared times 5, and you get the same thing, right? 392.699. And then again, it wants to the nearest tenths place, which in this case, we're going to round up. So 7, and then this is also in cubic feet.